Growing organic cider fruit is a very attainable, sustainable way of growing apples in the Northeast. It really comes down to a lot of things. It's first of all the apples that are chosen for the cider. Tart apples, sweet apples, bitter apples, which tend to be tannic. Sharp apples, which are really tart. And from there, it kind of depends on how it's fermented, how it's finished, how it's bottled. So stylistically, cider right now that's being produced, particularly in North America, is all over the charts, and it's really interesting. There's a lot of variables. So it's interesting. There's European cider apples, there's North American cider apples, and some of us, including us at Redbyrd, are really interested in discovering new varieties that we find ourselves in the wild. A lot of times it's amazing what you come up with. This is actually one of the apples that we found not far from our cidery maybe 6-7 years ago. Took cuttings of the tree, grafted it onto rootstock, grew the trees out, and this year we had a pretty good harvest of this apple that we called gnarled Chapman. And it's a beautiful apple. It's got this really nice rosy blush. It's kind of a partial russet, but very green. It's a late apple. We picked these today, October 24th, so they're very late. I kind of always envisioned Redbyrd being completely estate-grown fruit, but the more I have the ability to work with other orchards and other fruit, it's almost liberating to source other fruit and actually kind of like, whoa, that golden russet's different than ours, or that variety we don't have and it really works well, so let's graft some of that. I really enjoy growing fruit, whether it's grapes or apples or currants or anything. Growing fruit is, to me, a beautiful thing. The bounds of making cider are completely open, and the varieties that work well in New York, the varieties that specifically work well in the Finger Lakes, are completely undiscovered. And I think that's really what draws me to cider making, is that it's discovery.